Another science fiction gets started here. And I'm going to move this. I see that's already at a bad angle. So we'll get that. There we go. That's much better. Hey, righty. Let me move the microphone over here. Whoa! You couldn't help myself. Sorry. Always get excited with a new painting. And I know somebody says, "God, you do a lot of the War of the Worlds," but I think that this one's ideal for it. So we're going to do that. So I get my sponge out here in a second. And this was a photograph was taken by my friend Eli. It was during the big fires we were having 2 years ago. Oh, come on. Why did you have to seal this? Do this. Hold it. You heard that. Oh, good grief. I don't have my water out here. Hold on. Gotta have water if you're going to paint with acrylic. Hold on. Gotta have water. Just like when you got oil paint, you've got to have turpentine or something like that, or paint thinner of some sort, and also need to have your different oils that thins the paintings. So there we are. Okay, so got my handy dandy thing here. I always like it. They ship them like that, and then you just go into the water, and they're like that. Okay, so we're going to spray this down. The photograph is a simple photograph. It's an awesome photograph, but awesome because it's the simplicity of it. So we're going to get this over here. A little more. There we go. Hey, that's better. So we're going to mix. I got magenta and oil and yellow here, and white and yellow ochre. Stepping back. Add a lot more yellow up there. This is where the river is. This was taken when we had those horrible fires 2 years ago. We're having some fires right now, but nothing on comparison to what we had 2 years ago. And this is when this was taken. So this is going to provide a good backdrop for another science fiction based on War of the Worlds again. I know some people say, my God, you do that all the time. But I say, it's cool. I don't care. Maybe that'll change when I start getting into this painting. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's more yellow. Try to use up my slowly drying up paint here. Not good. Last bit of that out of there. Squeeze, baby, squeeze. There we go. Jesus. Move that up here a little bit. There we go. It has this little lip there that causes not to be painted. I have to do that every once in a while. Spray paint that, or spray that down a little bit. Keep it flowing. Especially when it's a little bit warm. It's not too bad today. And the smoke has cleared. So that's a really, really big relief here. Those fires 2 years ago were just horrible. We actually thought we were going to have to evacuate. Remember that last 2 years ago, the infamous 2020, the COVID thing and everything. God, we had riots, we had everything in this city. Oh, tell you. All right, there we go. All right. I think our heat is over with. I'm starting to look at the future forecast, and it's definitely going into the fall pattern. Before we know it, we'll be crying about how much rain we're getting. We'll have the heat on in the house. Oh, that's how fast it occurs here in Portland sometimes. I tell you, it does. Okay, let's do it. So, I've got the steel bridge here. I know, God, another damn painting of the steel bridge, but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to have a sci-fi feel to it. Yeah, let's go with this brush here, right there. Whoa! Couldn't help myself. Sorry, I'm getting excited again. And that, the top of the towers. About, oh God, there's too much paint on that big blob. About here. We're going to put them here. So I'm going to do that. Talking to myself, full conversation. Goes down to about halfway on the canvas. I always look at, I'm looking at a photograph, and I use that as a reference point. Where are these things? You know, and that bridge here is right about there. Okay, there you go. Okay, we've got a max going across the top of it. Okay, cool. And it's a double deck bridge. What's really cool about it, engineering is amazing for something built back at the turn of the century. Yep, there we go. And then you have the Fremont Bridge in the background, so we're just going to kind of put that in there. Actually, it's much higher than that. Nope, wrong. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay. Boom, ba-dum. I have no idea where that song's going through my head. No idea. These are the counterweights in here. That's what brings the bridge up and down. They actually got to be under it when they had to lift it for us one time. It was kind of cool. I had a friend with a sailboat, and his mast was too tall, and they actually lifted it. Hey, how's it going? This is the silos, or grain silos we have. Actually, in Portland itself is our largest export. The largest export for Oregon is actually microchips, but for Portland itself, for the ships that come in here, they're coming in to get the grain. Well, that's great. That's great. So we got the Willamette down here. This is the steel bridge, and this is going to be a science fiction, another War of the World themed. I got two for the show that are World of the Wars, War of the Worlds. Wow, let's get that right. We're going to get this here. No. Okay, come down straight. That comes like that. Straight. Straight and straight. That comes like that. And got one up and then down. Okay. Yeah, I got a show coming up and they want science fiction. So I needed to kind of crank my, get my rear end in gear here, and that's what we're doing. And this is my 10th science fiction, and that's what I feel their walls can support is 10 paintings. So, and then I always like giving myself a buffer because sometimes the painting goes, all at once, and there you are, And so I like giving myself a buffer. Then plus, I've got a show coming up not too long after it. So just good to have a stockpile. I have learned that one. Okay, so that one's going to, there we go. And that's you got 3 bridges in this painting. So, got the Fremont, and then you've got the Broadway Bridge. There we go. There we are. And this was taken by my friend Eli when we were having those horrible fires 2 years ago, and the air was so horribly polluted from all that smoke, and so like he said, that he didn't even use a filter or anything on this. He says it was just incredible. Double-decker bridge. I go across it every week. We're going to actually draw those in right now. Straddling the bridge. That one's behind it. That one's in front of it. No idea. Get that in there. We have the Similar scene. Okay. Oh, cool. It's hard to even imagine that Christmas is coming up, isn't it? Oh, like I said, right now we're still kind of at the end of our heat wave we've had here in Portland, and before you know it, we'll be having rain and turning the furnace on. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do with Prussian blue, a little black, and a little bit of brown. Van Dyke brown, that is. Boom, ba-dum. No idea why that song's going through my head, but it is. Where are you at? Oh, okay. You know, that is one of the few states on the East Coast I have not been to is North Carolina. I've been to South Carolina, but have not been to North Carolina. Uh, been to Georgia, been to Alabama, been to, I've never been to North Carolina. Just never made it there. I'll be in Maryland here pretty soon. The Steel Bridge is a very industrial bridge here in Portland, built back in 1902 or 1903. So, uh, everybody thinks of Portland having so much rain. We don't get as much rain as you do, but it drizzles here. That's the everybody who moves here or visits. They says it never gets it out of its system. And I said, yeah, that's the drizzle. We get drizzle. You know, it's kind of funny. But yeah, this is the Steel Bridge, and it's wonderful. They have a bike path that goes across it too. It's think about how old this bridge. It could actually handle the Amtrak train, a freight train, and it can handle our light rail and cars. So that's a really heavy duty bridge. Whoever designed it, they did a good job. That's for sure. I like the bridge because some people will probably consider it downright homely, but it's just like this industrial bridge that just does its job. Okay. Yeah, I've never been to North Carolina. I have a friend that lives in North Carolina, but I've never been there. He used to live here actually here in when it was up there in Seattle when I lived up in Seattle. Then moved to got a job with at some place in North Carolina and moved. These, and this thing goes up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of them. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're gonna get that right. And the lower part, the bridge could actually open up in 2 sections. So sometimes it doesn't have to lift up. The whole works. It's just like when we went under it with the sailboat. It only had to lift the lower part, But it's so fun. You're sitting there waiting for, and all you hear the horns blast, and all the cars stop, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes up. They tell you, have a nice day. Very polite. That's one thing here in Portland. People are polite, Very polite. Be nice. That's what I always say. Be nice. I love it. I've been to Texas, and I always liked the road signs, drive friendly. And in Texas, driving friendly, they're doing 80 or plus miles an hour. But drive friendly. Always like that. Drive friendly. Been to Florida. I have a friend that lives in Florida. Been there. Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Yeah, I'm just thinking of all the southern states that I've been to. Yeah, most of them. North Carolina is one of the few that I haven't. Yeah, we drive fairly fast here in Oregon too. At one time, Oregon did not have a speed limit. Yeah, that's not true anymore. I think the fastest on our interstate is 75 miles an hour. Yeah. I grew up in Washington State, and it's 70 there. Fastest I've ever driven my entire life was I was stationed in Germany, and I got to test drive a Porsche for a friend because he didn't have his international license yet, and so I opened that thing up to 154 miles an hour. My God, that thing actually was incredibly steady at 154 miles an hour. And I was like, he was like, oh my God. So, yeah, it roared. God, that thing roared. It was really good for, the handling was amazing. But what got me was I was not gaining on this one car in front of me, and I was doing 154 miles an hour. I could only imagine what he was doing, or he or she. It's like, holy crapolas, And the dealer said, don't top it out. And I didn't. That was not topping that car out. That's what got me. Oh, and that's the true story. Oh, by far the fastest I've ever driven. I could almost qualify for the Indianapolis 500. Oh, man. We got our Max train going across here, so we're going to put that in there. Max is our light rail. That's our light rail here. Love it. I take it all the time. Absolutely love that train. You get some interesting characters every once in a while, but I really like that light rail. $2.50 and you're off and running. Hey, Merrick. Yeah, well, it's a steel bridge, but we're gonna make that a science fiction because remember I got a science fiction show coming up, and so I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a couple of I'll have 3 Portland scenes that are science fiction, and I think that's good. I've got 2 that are Quaving Empire, so we're gonna do it. But got steel bridge. I have the. This is a picture Eli took when we had a horrible smoke 2 years ago. It's like the end of the world here in Portland at that point. Oh, we had the riots, and then we had the fires, and it was like, okay, anything more happening this year? And it did, God, I think we're all just tough people anymore. Seriously, we've gone through a lot. Yeah, steel bridge. Glad you recognized it right off, Merrick. But I've had this photograph in mind for quite a while, and I know I've done a lot of steel bridge paintings, but I think this one fits in with the and we're going to have the tripods, going across the top of it. I think, yeah, I don't know. That's what I had in mind today. Got done with the other one with the Pal's books in it. So people are going, God, how many times do you do the tripods? But I said, it's a classic, It's an absolute classic. And I'm recovering from my booster shot, which was actually quite easy. I have a slight sore arm today, and that is it. I don't feel wiped out or anything. So I'm inoculated against the Omicron now. So that's good. Got my big trip coming up here in about a couple of weeks, and yeah, it's good to be all vaccinated, ready to go. So when I overthrow the government and with my chrome tanks, my chrome helmet, and my silver cape, I'll be ready to go. And if anybody takes that serious, I am sorry. I like Mike. Whoa! Couldn't help myself, sorry. So we got the willamette down here. Let's just start putting that in there. Change brushes here. Such a gorgeous photograph that Eli took. And like he said, he didn't even have to use filters because the smoke was so horrific in the air that it just was orange. Everything was orange. The smoke, I remember at that time, the smoke was so bad that year that we didn't even have, you didn't have a shadow. Sun was out, but no shadow. Well, I'm now starting to feel pretty good about the show. I'm thinking of going downtown on Wednesday, even though I have to work that day. I'll get home and turn around and go downtown. I think I'm doing that. I'd like to talk to Laurent, and so I'll let you know. I think I know somebody from every single state now. You're from North Carolina. I do. And it's amazing how many people I now know from different countries too. I have a friend that's Rio, they're in Brazil. I have a photographer from Japan, Tokyo. I've actually used a couple of his photographs. He was here in Portland and took some great pictures of downtown Portland, and I asked if I could use it, and he said, "Yep." So I have a friend in Tokyo. He said, "If you're ever in Tokyo, call him." That'd be kind of cool. I always say people are people are people. It doesn't matter where they are. I've had friends from Saudi Arabia. I've had Kenya. People are people are people. Back, I said back. That way too tall. That's why I always say step back, and then compare your painting to the photograph that you're working from. This is way too tall. So we're just going to knock that. And the best way to kind of correct something, use a titanium white, just paint right over it, let it dry, then come again. That should be about this distance here, right here. So we're going to get rid of that part of it. I try to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you should try to, get there to a certain point. Let that one dry. That's fine. It's good to catch it right now while you're still working on the painting. It would have been the end of the world, but kind of try to. It's something that, as an artist, you have a tendency to notice. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just there's a zinc white and there's other whites, and bone white. There's another one is a bone white, but I've always I think that goes back to Bob Ross. Bob Ross and my art teacher Chuck Nas. He titanium white. That's what I got trained on. So I've always been titanium white. Isn't that funny? Yeah. I wonder how many paints are popular for no other reason is because that's what Bob Ross used. And there may be absolutely no reason whatsoever, but you wonder, yeah. Things I think about. Let that dry. That's not quite dry yet. Let it be rushing it there. Bob Ross was a class act, I'll tell you that one. Boy, you realize he's been dead since 1995. Isn't that amazing? And he's still popular. Now let that dry over there. Then we'll correct that mistake. And that's one thing we're doing live. You see me do. You watch my mistakes. But I'm never afraid to hide them. It's just like this is how you learn. Mistakes are mistakes. Old Bob Ross. I'm older now than he was when he passed away. It's really sad. Bum, ba-dum. But I've heard, you hear this saying about meeting people, and I would love to have met Bob Ross right before he hit it with the PBS. Say, how did you do that? And okay, we're gonna go over this here a little bit. Sorry, but yeah, it'd be, same thing with Julia Child. That was another one. Now she had help. Her dad was fairly well off, and so her dad actually helped her out to get the initial thing off the ground. But I thought that was interesting with her. Fascinating person too. That was another one who was fascinating. Heck, she didn't get her. A whole TV career going until she was in her 50s. But she had written that book. Yeah. Julia Child and Bob Ross are one of my heroes. They definitely are. And I think what's so funny with both of them, it wasn't like because they were just these dashing, incredibly beautiful people or anything like that. They were just simply them. Yeah, if we go a little over, I don't really care. We're good. One thing about YouTube, they don't give me a time limit on that. Unlike Facebook, they give you a time limit. Just keep going with this until we're tired of painting. This is dry out. Nope. It's still a little sticky. So look, the key is let it dry, and you can see my fingerprints right smack in the middle of it. Oh Lord. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start working on those tripods. Wow, 12 hours. I don't see myself doing 12 hours. You'd watch me fall asleep and I'd have my little cod out here. Yeah. let's get a small brush out here. It's a little too small. It's fine. Find a little bit bigger brush than that. No, that's way too big. This one might work. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Small brush, but perfect for what I need to do. Okay. Come in here with blue. Prussian blue, that is. A little bit of white. A little bit of black. We're letting that dry before I put my fingers on it again. Oh, good. Good grief. I strongly recommend anybody to read the book War of the Worlds. I know Merrick's heard me say this 1,000 times now. What an interesting book. And you have to remember that thing was written in 1898. So what a fascinating book. Also, we all know 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is Jules Verne's epic, and then that's going to go right into the water there. And a lot of people don't realize 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is not 20,000 feet, or anything like that. It's actually 60,000 miles, and that's how far the Nautilus traveled in the ocean. It wasn't that deep. It was just it was the Nautilus. You should find out. All right. And that goes into the water. And then the Willamette under the steel bridge is around 100 feet, which is actually quite deep for a river. It depends on the tide. The Willamette is actually controlled by the tide because we're not that far from the Pacific Ocean. And there's actually sea lions. You'll find sea lions in the Willamette. Blue again and black. And this pod leg comes on the other side of the bridge. Straddling the bridge right now. Goes up and over the top of it. Not having too much of an issue. Oh, I've seen sea otters. They're funny as heck. I used to live in Tacoma, and they'd be right up close to the shoreline. They're funny as heck. I tell you that one. They say don't ever mess with them because they have teeth. But we had river otters too. That was another one. They said, don't mess with it. Apparently a sea otter was, not sea otter, but a river otter was the #1 cause of bites in Olympia and Tacoma. Because people think they're so cute and then they bite them. Yeah. You can hear our. I've always called them a chaser jay, but I've heard other people call them a scrub jay or oh gosh, what they call them, bush jay. Oh, you can hear them outside right now. They're related very closely to a crow. I have a crow that has decided he likes my phone. I took a picture of him. I'll post that picture of him. Him or her, I don't know if it's a her or he, God, I didn't realize a crow lives as long as they do. They can live up to 40 years at least. And they're fascinating. Right. So we're going to come back in here. Got a ways to go on this painting. Okay, that's dry. We're going to go over that too. I'm tired of looking at that. I have one of Powell, so we'll have to have those paintings next to one another, saying "Interesting day in Oregon or Portland," like we need anymore. It's like, ugh. All right, let's come back in here with magenta, yellow, and white, and a little bit of yellow ochre. And more yellow ochre, and more white. More yellow ochre, and white. There we go. More. Yellow, magenta is a very strong color. So anytime you use it, watch out. And actually push out some more yellow here. So it doesn't look like an atomic bomb going off here. Matching that color here. Always blend it out. Always blend it out. That's the idea. Like I said, America is going to be one more science fiction based on War of the Worlds here. I got three or four science fictions Portland based. That's the idea. It's like, uh-oh. Bad day in Portland. Got that one of Powell's books, so I haven't responded. Normally they respond right away. I hope I didn't offend them with the tripods over the top of their building. I don't think so. I think they're good people. They always tell me uh, to tag them in any painting I do, so I do. And I have on their billboard sign, War of the World. That is an awesome book. I'm just going to let you know. That should be on your bucket list to read. It's one of the classics. Oops. Oh, Lord. That was a little bit too much white on that one. That's all right. Okay. Yeah. Zip. Go. 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 I should put him in here. That'd be fun. Yeah. Cool guy. I tell you what. Ryan Kidd. That's his name. He's good. Cool guy. It's actually been in ads for things. You know, it's just kind of what a unique. I asked him. I said, "How in the hell did you come up with uh, riding a unicycle and playing bagpipes?" And he said, "Well, you know," I said, "I found these a unicycle at the car beach, and I said I wanted to learn how to do that, and I happen to have the unicycles at the same time." And I said, "Okay." Super nice guy. We'll hold this here. And it sits down in the water. It is. It's a very industrial bridge, but it's really cool. I love going across the steel. It's God. It's the fact that it can support a freight train or Amtrak and light rail and cars at the same time is amazing. And you think about this is something that was built back in you know turn of the century. Cars were hardly even available at the time. Somebody was thinking forward. I'm gonna get some unpronounceable blue here. Oh boy, there's a total. I think I'm going to turn that light off, see if that helps you see what I'm doing. Good grief. Didn't realize that was that bad. There we go. That's much better. Get that glare going. Good. Gads. Okay. All right, let's get back on the bridge here. An interesting bridge, though. I tell you that one, it really is here in Portland. Totally industrial, just basic function. I love that about it. That's what makes it a beautiful bridge because it's all function. Doesn't have any fancy designs on it. It's just function. That's the max going across the top here. Didn't realize I captured it when I was taking the photo. Oh, no, that's right. I take that back. That was this. I think this is Eli's photo. Hey, Kenneth, welcome to the show. And remember, something that's further in the background is going to be lighter. So this one's a big tripod here. Actually, I think I'm going to have him or her, solitarian, whatever, have that into the water too. It's coming across the bridge. Channel, where's that? What is that here in the U.S. or where is that from? down here. And have a smaller one way back here, further distance away. Though I do strongly recommend reading War of the Worlds. What imagination that was. And you have to remember, this is way before we ever landed on the moon or anything like that, you know. So it's just fascinating. We're going to have the joint here. Cool. As I have water dripping. It's all right. It's a great thing with the acrylic. You could just fix it. Oh, cool. Cool. Always welcome new guests. Always. I'm going to have one down here, too. Talking to myself, don't worry about it. Full conversation. Oh, couldn't help myself again. All right. This goes down into the willamette here. So we'll have swirls going around there. Adding a little more light here. Oh, I get a song stuck in my brain, so watch out. this on the other side of the bridge. Got the steel bridge here. Awesome. Step back, step back. So I need to do a little more work on the steel bridge itself. We've got the tripods that are coming over it, okay? That's where we're at right now. Steel bridge, like I said, it was built way back, turn of the century. When I say turn of the centuries, I don't mean 21st, I mean 20th. It's really a cool bridge. I'm looking at, if you keep seeing me doing this, because it's a photograph that was taken. I think this one was by my friend Eli. So we were having those horrible fires 2 years ago. I was almost like the end of Portland at that point. It was like, good grief, it was just terrible. Lot cooler day today. It's nice. Oh, we've had beastly hot days for several months now. It's like we're having fires, but nothing like the 2020. So I'm hoping everything's going to be okay. All right. All right. Let's get this bridge in place. I'm going a little over. It's all right. Like I said, if you need to take a break and come back, fine. You're not offending me. I think there needs to be one here. Yeah. Let's just try to get this one finished today. If you're willing to do the marathon round, I'll post it. Once I'm done, I'll post, obviously. Don't worry about it. These are trusses to support this bridge. Thank you. Thank you. I kick the camera. This is the Fremont Bridge in the distance. Same thing. Sit back, sit back. Too dark. Okay. Back, come back. Come back into another brush here. I think it was America was asking how many brushes I use. Hell, I don't know. All right, I think we're going to finish tonight or today, I should say. I'll be back on tomorrow, 8 o'clock Pacific time, right here in Oregon. So take a break. Maybe might be back on a little bit later today. I'll let you know. But I need to take a little break. So take care. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got the steel bridge, tripods here from War of the Worlds, and everything. So take care. All right. Bye-bye.